Hello, everyone. I'm Captain Logan, and look, it's Brandon Grimm.
It is I, Brandon.
Brandon, over the weekend, went to a yard sale, and he found a bunch of comics for ridiculously cheap. So he sent me a message, and he was like, hey, Cap, these comics are cheap. Do you want them? And then I was streaming Smallville, and I didn't see the message. And then I replied back, and I was like, well, if you're still there, you can go back there. I don't know, maybe. And then he ended up going back there and grabbing them. So thanks, Brandon.
You're welcome.
So I'm excited
And thanks,
to run
Nikki.
through them.
She spotted the cash to front these.
Yeah, so thanks to Brandon's girlfriend, Nikki. So he brought over 5 short boxes and a long box. So I used to buy out collections all the time. I've done some streams like this before, going through boxes that I'll order or that I'll find at sales. And I used to be into comics resale. I had an eBay business for a few years. And then a few years ago, I had a local flea market business. I had a big corner booth at a flea market. You remember that place?
I miss that.
I miss it too. Well, I miss the place. I don't miss the work. I don't miss doing it. I got that out of my system. Like, that's the closest to owning my own comic shop that I ever got. And it's good enough.
Yeah.
Like, there's not any piece
greatness.
of me that has, there's not any piece of me that's interested in ever going back and doing that again.
Okay,
But
now
come on. Got it out of my system.
If you could just start your own shop and employ someone like me to run the front desk, wouldn't you do something like that?
I really wouldn't.
No, because you talked about that before, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah, and it's still a lot of work.
Of course.
And I'm just saying, I've done it. It doesn't sound fun anymore, and I don't mean to be a downer about it because I still enjoy comics. I still enjoy the hobby, but I'm not into it the way I used to be. I'm certainly not into current the way I used to be. And like, if I had a used shop that was comics and maybe some other stuff, I would kick it around.
Okay, that's more what I'm talking about.
I wouldn't want to do the like current comics retail thing. I have no interest in that. But anyway, so I got these mostly just out of morbid curiosity. This is going to be more like opening card packs than anything. It's like it was worth, as cheap as this was, it was worth it just to see what's in it. So this is going to be at least 700 or 800 books, I think, because it's short boxes that are filled only like half to 2/3. But a short box, I don't know if you know, Brandon, will hold 175.
I did not know that.
And I think that's bagged and boarded. I may be wrong about that. It might be more like 150 bagged and boarded. And I know that these are bagged without boards, and some of them without bags at all, or at least that's the pictures that you sent me.
Yeah.
I've not looked at these at all yet, except for a couple pictures that Brandon sent me.
I think there's a couple like hardcover trades, maybe.
Yeah, I did see that. There was maybe a Morrison Batman thing I noticed. I forget.
Yeah, I only sent you like a picture of a handful of them, just like 6, as I was to emphasize like this guy's selling these for cheap.
Well, and what I got from the pictures you sent was the era is pretty vast. So I saw stuff from 10 to 12 years ago, and I saw stuff going back 30 years, and there possibly before. But there was one issue in particular that you sent me that I have already. That is worth at least half of what you paid for the whole thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous.
And I was already going to get it regardless.
Good, because I was just
randomly
randomly
how crazy cheap it was.
Snapping a couple pictures. I'm glad I got a good spread.
Do you mind if I tell the audience what we paid for this?
Go for it. That's on you.
Probably 700 or 800 books. The guy only wanted $60 for this whole collection, and I was like, I don't even need this stuff.
So,
although, I mean, I'm gonna gap fill, so like I'm sure there will be enough stuff in here that I need to cover $60. But like, just for the sheer curiosity of it, I had to do that.
So I mentioned this to you earlier, but basically, so I was driving with Nikki and I saw a garage sale sign, and I said, "Do you mind if we stop at this garage sale?"
So you weren't even actively garage selling that day.
We drove down Lackman, which was kind of an odd road for me to drive in the area that I was, because I haven't done it recently, but we were in this area, and we were over by a friend's old house. And I was like, "Do you mind if we stop at the garage sale?" She's like, "Yeah, go for it." So I turned and I went down and I went around and we turned in the cul-de-sac, and I looked at it initially, and it was a pretty small garage sale, and I was like, this sale's trash. And then I saw that they had a keyboard up there leaning up against it, and it wasn't the best keyboard, but it was a keyboard, and I was like, well, that's actually not a bad sign. And I was like, we should stop. And Nikki reminded me, of course, that I always say, you never know what you're going to find. So stop at the sale. So not only, I got a stylophone for $5. I got a PC microphone input thing for $4. We bought a bass guitar for $20.
Oh, like, crazy.
And then I was like, how much for the comics? He goes, well, I take $60 for all of them. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's nuts.
I was like, I have to message a friend. I said, do you mind if I take some pictures? And he's like, go for it. So then I messaged Cap, and he didn't respond. I forgot he was doing a stream.
There's a couple $100 worth here if you were reselling.
Yeah.
Like, if you were buying these to buy them, I mean, we'll see what's here, but just based on those pictures, I was like, that's a $300 or $400 collection.
He said he took what he wanted, and he kept, because his dad used to own a comic book store in, like, somewhere in Iowa, but I can't remember exactly where he said.
Okay, so this wasn't everything.
It's been a long time ago, and I told him about the trip that we did those years ago. Was that 11 years ago now? And, I mentioned this, and so then we left because I hadn't heard back from Cap, and Nikki and I are mulling, well, should we just front the money and do it? It wouldn't be a bad buy anyway, just because Nikki would love to have the comics. And so I was like, let's go ahead and do it. And so then later, so we went back there, and I rolled down my window. I go, surprise, we're back. And I said, can you guess what for? He goes, those comics, right? And I was like, yep. So we picked them up, and then Cap got back to me later, and he's like, so it's just as well you probably didn't get those. I was like, surprise.
Well, let's go ahead and go through them here. So I'll try not to be too, that's that Morrison book.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll try not to be too long-winded with this going through these. There's quite a bit to cover. So we'll just roll through them. Here we go. Okay, so I'll just pull these out like a stack at a time. So right at the top, we've got... okay, so just free comic book day stuff right at the start. So that's the AVX program guide. So this would be like 2012, I think, Brandon.
Okay.
So we'll see if there's anything that post-dates that. But that's even more recent than I expected.
Should I take
any
notes?
of this to be. No, not at all. But I don't think I actually got that at Free Comic Book Day that year, so I'll probably hang on to that. And then Batwoman 34... And then, so you'll get some random crap like this. Magnus Robot Fighter. And then Super Dinosaur was a fun book that Image did. That's an all ages book. And I like what I've read of that. So he was buying at the time that I was working at a shop. And when I first started the channel, or a couple years after I started the channel, and I was getting back into current. Ultimate, all these random Ultimate books I've never heard of, you guys. Ultimate Enemy, I don't know what that is, but of course it's Bendis, which means it's long-winded and it takes forever to get anywhere. I'm kidding. Bendis doesn't always.
Well, now you can do a new comic review without buying new comics.
New 52 Superboy. Adventures of Superman 16 from, I don't know, just before that period, maybe. Anyway. Action from 52. Yeah, a lot of this is even more recent than I was expecting, Brandon. New Warriors 17. So there's a lot of your kind of Captain America 404. Usual Suspects. For a collection like this, Brandon, if I buy a collection this big, and this isn't huge or anything, but if I buy this much at a time, because I bought as many as 4, 5, 6,000 at a time.
Yeah.
But if I buy a collection of this size and it's got any 90s in it at all, and there's not a copy of Robin 2 #1, I'm shocked. Because there were so many of these. So naturally, that's in there. Okay, this is interesting. So here's Batman 441. This is the right in the middle of Lonely Place of Dying, which of course is the follow-up to Death in the Family, which Austin and I just reviewed last week. And I actually started reading the issues after that story just today. So if I keep going with that, I will run into this one in 9 issues. And I do own this. Avengers 360, this is one of the only issues of Avengers I own already from this period. But yep, I've got that. And then, wow, they go back a little farther than I thought they might. So then we get to Marvel Superheroes 64. These are in no particular order at all. I really thought we might have a little bit of an alphabet here, and we'd have some short bits of runs, but no, we're all over the place. So I'll go as fast as humanly, but this is going to take forever like this. But anyway, so that's an old 30-cent comic, not in good shape at all, but it'll be interesting to see if anything else from that era shows up. Namor #1, Brave and the Bold with the Green Arrow, Spider-Man's Get Craven. Yeah, I don't have that. Get 'em! Everybody wants to get Craven after that movie. The Four Horsemen. So 52 Aftermath, I don't have these. So there's always these random tie-in series, Brandon, miniseries into a giant event. Okay. And 52 was a big Greg Rucka thing that was all about Batwoman and some other characters. Brandon's gonna have no idea what we're talking about through a lot of this, but like I said,
I'm here for an education,
fast as I can, we're gonna have to hit so many topics and so many characters and stuff that I'm not gonna be able to teach you anything.
Well, we can revise as we go along here.
Countdown Arena. I don't even know what that is. That's a tie-in to Countdown. I've never seen that.
Yeah, we may be able to get 6 videos out of this.
I probably have all of this Four Horsemen thing, so I might hang on to those. I'll have to see if I need to gap fill some Silver Surfer here. Here's Silver Surfer 17. I collect these. I own a ridiculous amount of Captain America for being not that big of a Captain America fan, Brandon. But
any particular reason?
Yeah, because when I bought out a collection years ago, my wife insisted I hang on to those, and I have probably 300 issues of Captain America. So I don't gap fill them as much when I get those now because I usually end up with stuff I have already. I am curious to see how much of Batwoman we have, although is this not the same issue we just looked at, or was that 33? I think this is yeah. So hopefully there's not too much in the way of duplicates, but that makes sense if we're looking at the remnants of a comic shop. That's another thing to keep in mind is that you will end up with some duplicates if somebody tells you this was from a shop.
Sure.
So that makes sense. This is not somebody's personal collection, or maybe part of it is.
Well, it is part of his personal collection, but I don't know how much was just leftovers too.
But he said something about having a shop, right?
Years ago, his dad did.
Yeah, and I wonder how many years ago, because so much of this
said it was more than 10 at least.
Yeah, so they closed down. It sounds like just after AVX and stuff like that. So Avengers Solo. Also, so far, and I mean, I don't know if this will be indicative of all of these boxes, because we've looked at like 30 issues so far, but pretty even split between Marvel and DC, which is unusual. Usually it's about 75-25 Marvel DC when you get a collection like this. Dial H. 52 tried to resurrect everything. It's just ridiculous, the stuff they brought back. Virgin Comics, I don't know what this is. It looks so this is a 0 issue. This might have been some free comic day thing. It looks like this is a little independent house I'm not familiar with. Somebody tell me if you've heard of that. I'm curious
to see. Does it look like the Virgin Mobile logo?
It kind of does. I'm curious to see how much early image stuff we wind up with. I'm gonna run through this stuff faster. Planetary, some Ultraverse stuff, more early image. So I'm curious to see if there's any Spawn in here at all. We're already hitting Image. John Byrne's Next Men. More free comic day stuff. There's an issue of Bone. I've never had Bone in singles. My son, Jason and Freddie both adore Bone.
Never heard of him.
I don't know what that is. X Factor 54. We just had to deal with some X Factor with Peter David's Hulk. Reviewing that last night. I'm gonna need to stay liquefied. Who's in the comments right now? Hi, everybody. Nicholas Bodo's here. One reply. It's so sad hearing comic shops close. Yeah, that's true. Obsidian. Hi there. That's not a name I recognize. I read a graphic novel called Leap last week. Read it in a day. I need to start reading it again. Well, good job reading it in just one. Was it any good? I don't know what that is. Cyberforce. More image. Top Cow is an Image imprint, so whenever you see Top Cow, that is Image.
Oh.
Vampirella, that's Dynamite. More of this Dial H. So I'm wondering just how much New 52 is going to be in here. We got a bunch of this Dial H. Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. So this is the comic tie-in with the cartoon show from the early 2010s. Green Team from New 52. I've never heard of this. And that's 52. What the hell is this? How's there a New 52 book that I'm not familiar with? And it looks like it was a monthly. And it's Art Balthazar. What? It's Art Balthazar and Franco. And I don't know about that. All right. I've never heard of that. I think I just broke it. I'm kidding. All right. This is already kind of interesting. So far, Brandon, I mean, there's a few things I'm almost certainly going to need to hang on to with this.
Okay.
Shade, the Changing Man, / Moran. I've seen this before. Stuff like this you just wind up with and you're stuck with it because you're never going to sell it. Nobody is ever gonna need that. Okay, what printing? What printing? This is one we're going to want to look up later.
Okay.
This is 88. This is year 1. And it's trade of year 1 from 1988. I'm curious to see what this one's worth. That's exciting. I will probably hang on to that one. So that's Frank Miller. Year 1's very important. You should read it. Everyone should read year 1. Legend of the Hawkman. This I've not seen. Here is a Gotham by Gaslight. I have had at least 100 of these in my possession at various points.
I thought you were going to say all at once.
I had 40 or 50 at one time.
Oh my!
Once when I was reselling, yes. And I had so I love Gotham by Gaslight. The animated adaptation is kind of bad, but there's wonderful. There's fun things in that. There's a wonderful book, and so this is Batman. So this is an Elseworlds, Brandon. It's Bruce Wayne hunting down Jack the Ripper, and it's wonderful. So I had a really bad-looking copy of this that was like, sorry, I'll tell the story real quick. That had like rips in it, and it was kind of folded. And then I had like 50 of these at one time. And I forgot to replace mine, and like I sold them all, and I was stuck with my crappy copy. And I think at some point later I did replace this. I think I do have a good one now, but here's another good one in case I didn't. Here's Batman Full Circle. Everything I'm showing you right now is stuff I have already. Here's Penguin Triumphant by Ostrander. I don't know if I have a copy of this. I'll have to check and see. This is already quite good though. I gotta say.
Well, I'm glad.
And this is Batman Judge Dredd. This I'll hang on to. I don't think I've got that. And I love these goofy 90s crossovers. But look, Brandon, it's Batman and Judge Dredd.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, Action Comics, 682, Wonder Man. I don't know what it is with certain random issues of things that I end up seeing more often than others. Like, I've owned maybe one issue of Wonder Man ever, and I'm pretty sure it was that one. I don't know why. Sleepwalker Holiday Special. Why did he have a hot... Okay. Why is this collection just stuff I have? I don't understand. Because I have the Marvel Milestone Amazing Fantasy 15 also. I have one of these. I don't know why it's in this box. Green Lantern Corps number 6. We'll see how much... This one's water damaged, but we'll see how much Green Lantern stuff is in here for Jason, because he's a Green Lantern kid. Green Arrow 19. More Robin 2 with the... silly hologram cards on the front.
That's fun though. Fun gimmick.
Death 3. Yes, but those kinds of covers are part of what ruined the industry back then. Okay, so this is Morrison Batman and Robin deluxe edition hardcover. How did we get this for all this for $60? It's ridiculous. Like that's a $20 book probably. That's ridiculous. Okay, this is fun. We are more than halfway through this first box. Let's try to blow through this.
And there's 5 boxes that size, and then a long box.
We're going to do it. We're in a groove now, Brandon.
We are.
We're in a groove. Stop me at any point if you have any questions or you're tired of the sound of my voice. Here is Spider-Man 2099, number 1. And this is the book that I saw a picture of that I said is probably worth at least half of what we paid for this.
Okay.
I'll have to look that up. I bet that's at least a $30 book now, especially now that he's in a popular movie. I would be surprised if that's not the case. I have one of these. I'm a giant 29.99 fan. It just makes me happy whenever I see this. It's one of my favorite covers. That is Peter David. And that's in pretty decent shape. But I'll have to look that up. I don't know if I'm right about that. But I mean, it's going over like 10 or 15, so I don't know. And then Superhero Stamp album. What? What? This is fun. Like,
okay.
Just this collection is ridiculous. It's so freaking random what I'm finding in this. I'm glad it's not in any kind of order. Okay, so this is... I've never seen this, and it's freaking weird, and I'm keeping this. So, Celebrate the Century, Superhero Stamp Album, Book 1, 1900 to 1909. It's a 90s DC comic that I can't tell if it's telling a story or not, but it's using stamps with it in its panels, maybe sort of telling some sort of I guess it's just going through history, bringing color to the world. Crayola crayons trademark, registered trademark. That's fascinating. I gotta read that and review it because it's weird. I love weird stuff like that. Oh boy. I wish that was in better shape. These early Batman Adventures comics usually book a little bit.
Yeah.
That's number 6, and that's not one I have. Yes, we're gonna gap fill here. It's gonna be great. Silver Surfer 53. I definitely have one of those. McFarlane Spider-Man number 8. So Brandon, this is McFarlane's Spider-Man ongoing, which was ridiculous and huge, and was a $1 million number one, $1 million sold number one, and then he had a falling out with Marvel over violent stuff he wanted to do in the book that they didn't want him to do, and then he left, and then he started Image, and then he started Spawn. But if you read, we got more of this. Okay, I said in no order. Now we've got most of that. Okay, and these I have most of. We'll see if I'm missing any of that later. But anyway, it being McFarlane, because he's writing and drawing, it's nonsense and it makes no sense, and it's Spawn before Spawn. And
okay.
I've never gone through it and done a full review, but I need to. But I'll have PTSD. World's Finest Comics Anniversary issue 300. Weird. That's cool. I don't have one of those. This is Christmas. I thought this would be okay. We're only in the first box. Like, this kind of kicks ass, actually. Superman number 30 from 89. So this is Stern. I thought this was going to be... I mean, this has got to be in the Byrne run, but written by Stern. So that... Written by Roger Stern. But I don't have that issue, so that'll be something to gap fill. This is one of my favorite covers of all time, Superman 505. This is just before Death of.
Okay, which is your favorite, right?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things. No, I say that. This is just after. This is just after. But I'm a big fan of Superman with the long hair. And this is one of the early issues that I had when I was a kid. And I say that because Death of Superman was mostly done by the time I started getting into comics, and I was buying it after it was out already. Okay. I hope nobody's bored. Superman 105.
I mean, just your reactions to these things are worth the...
More Robin 2.
Are worth it so far.
I was a little worried about boring you, but I figured we'd probably go through some of this anyway, so it's like, why not? We might as well broadcast it. Why don't you broadcast it? Nightwing. Okay, so Teen Titans Spotlight Nightwing. This is before he gets his own monthly. This is in 87. We've been reviewing a lot of stuff from around 87 to 88 lately. I love that cover. I've never seen this. That makes me happy. Here is Teen Titans Cyborg Spotlight. That I'm aware of. Spectacular 145. that is A Web of Spider-Man number 20. Cool. I think I've got that. It's so all over the place. Oh look, it's a free DC sampler, and this would predate Free Comic Book Day.
Okay.
That wouldn't have existed yet when this came out, because Free Comic Book Day starts in the early '90s, I believe. Somebody check me on that if I'm wrong. But look at that back cover. That's cool. This I've also never seen. I'm getting an education here. I've never seen this. That's neat. Just because it was free then doesn't mean it won't book now. I'm curious about that one. Flash number 30. Ooh, that's a great cover. Weird War Tales. Okay, so we're going back a little further. Wait. Yeah, a little further. That's a 50-cent comic, so that's probably, what, early 70s? 81. I was off by 10 years.
Late 70s.
I suck. Wild West Cowboys, as seen on TV as seen on ABC by like 5 people. I've never heard of this.
Yeah, me neither. What year is that?
My guess is, well, we know how good I am at that. Probably
80s.
like 86, 93. Okay.
Precisely.
That's an
we're
Archie
that
book. Yeah. Well, I'm consistently off by a decade. Predator versus Magnus Robot Fighter. Predator crossed over with so many things, but I didn't know it crossed over. Magnus Robot Fighter. More of that. Okay. For me, Predator is still and will always be a Batman villain. Tandy Computer Whiz Kids. So these Radio Shack comics are hilarious.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Well, you said Tandy Computer, and I'm like, Radio Shack brand.
Yeah,
what?
So that one's for Brandon. There you go, Brandon. And then...
Oh my god, that's funny.
More Todd McFarlane Spider-Man.
Thank you.
It looks like that.
That.
It looks like that whole run might be in here. There is Marvel Eternals, the 12-issue miniseries or maxi series, Vision and Scarlet Witch. I've sold this before. FF 329. I'm always gap filling FF. I'm sorry, everybody. Give me a second here, because I don't have this one. So this is Detective 574, May 87. So this is immediately after the death of Jason Todd, and I don't remember what the detective stuff looked like around there. I kind of wondered while we were reviewing that last week. It's really kind of surreal, actually, because we just reviewed this stuff. What detective was doing when Jason Todd dies, but that might book a little bit too. That's exciting. Space Adventures. That's a Charlton thing. Are we still in the first box?
Yes, we're still in the first box.
Okay.
That's the last of the first box, right?
Yeah. Should I go faster, Brandon?
I don't care.
Here's some random crap no one's gonna care about. Aliens, deadliest of the Alien Predator, the deadliest of the species. I don't collect Alien Predator stuff, but I really like the art. What? Okay, hold on. Okay, so here's a weird parody comic I've never seen before. It's Wolverbroad, and you better believe I'm keeping this. That's hilarious. Okay, I am gonna open this for a second,
okay.
just to see if it. I'm curious to know.
It's a female Wolverine?
Yes, and it intentionally real, like, explicit looking, and I'm just wondering if this is... It looks like it's not a straight-up porn comic, but I wondered about it for a second. It's not.
Oh, if it was an adult comic, yeah.
I know. Then Brandon would want his hands on that. Okay, Batgirl Special, number 1. This may book for a bit. I can't remember if this is a big book or not. But I've always loved this cover, and I don't know if I have a copy of this. I always thought that was a really cool Batgirl suit, though.
The cover.
Yeah. So that one's exciting. Brandon.
Yes, Cap.
I don't know if you can see them, but I was going to say, feel free to read some comments for us while I'm going. Because, here, I can try to up this a little bit.
I can scoot closer, too.
Yeah, can you?
Yes.
Don't feel like you have to read a ton of comments, but if anything
pops up,
I'll
glance over there.
You want to read? You want me to give you the mouse
somehow?
somehow?
Sure, if you can.
I can try. You
can set it over here, and I'll.
Sorry, guys, give us a second here.
Rerouting your mouse.
Oh, it's already 9 o'clock. Been at this, what, half an hour? Half an hour.
All right. I'll set it up on my knee.
Scream! It's ghosts!
Ah!
Okay, I missed buying out collections like this, but I have to be honest with you, it's more fun when you basically got it for free. Daredevil 306, I don't think I have that one. I'm always gap-filling Daredevil.
Oh, thank you, Ryder.
FF 324.
Ryder asks, where do people buy comic books these days?
I mean, people still buy books, comic shops, and people that are really into the hobby order stuff quite a bit, I'm sure. I don't know if people do a lot of what I used to do in buying out collections, like if they're really into it. That kind of became my, besides when I was buying new.
I still see them at garage sales occasionally.
Strategy, and then flea markets are still a big place for comics. I think now more than they ever have been. Battlestar Galactica 16.
Thomas Lowe says, hi, Cap and Brandon.
Hi there. Marvel Doctor Who. I never see this. That's cool. What year is that? Because Marvel has not had that license in a very long time. 85, and that's in remarkable shape. I may have to hang on to that on principle. That's cool. Okay, folks, we're past our first short box. That took a little longer than I expected. Okay. Give me just a minute to get these back in this box.
Adam Arch says, a wild Brandon appeared.
There he is. There's Brandon.
Indeed.
Ironically showing up for a comic video.
Ironically providing the comics for a comic video I showed up for.
I know, that's never happened.
It's an oddity indeed.
Brandon, there were already a few treasures in that box, man.
Evidently, I could definitely tell.
That was pretty good.
Your famously non-reactive face told everything I needed to know.
Do I have a famously non-reactive face?
No, that was that was sarcasm.
I was gonna say I thought I was pretty reactive, Brandon. Okay, this one, the boxes we've gone through.
One reply asked, which doctor was it?
Oh, it was 4. But yeah, I was gonna say I think I'm famously pretty expressive, Brandon.
You are.
I'm sorry, I just want to take a break real quick.
You're fine.
Okay, here we go.
Well, it's hard work mining for gold.
It is. Okay, so there's more McFarlane Spider-Man. It looks like nearly all of that's probably going to be in here. Ravage 2099. So have I ever joked with you about Ravage 2099? No. Okay, so you had this whole line of books in the early 90s, the 2099 books. So it's the future of Marvel, right?
Okay, yeah.
And you find these all the time in collections, and everybody was getting rid of them because nobody cared about this book. And it was the only one that I know of the 2099 books where it's a made-up character in the first place.
Okay.
So there was no reason to name it Ravage 2099 because there's not a normal person Ravage. Oh. There's only Ravage 2099.
Gotcha.
Okay, then more of that. And then Doom 2099, which is shockingly decent. Are you serious? There's another.
Is that another one?
Yeah. That's exciting. There's going to be some resale value in this, and that's cool. But Punisher 2099, wow. It looks like we're getting into a lot of 2099 here, folks. There's more Ravage, more Doom.
But at this point, I'm surprised we haven't seen a Spawn comic.
I'm surprised by that myself. There's What If 46, Cable Destroyed the X-Men. There's still a few old What Ifs that I'm missing. They've been getting back pretty hard into What If lately. I'm not collecting current now, so I've kind of stopped feeling the need to own like every issue of the certain things I used to do that with. Like I used to buy everything Venom,
yeah.
And then they went crazy with Venom, and I don't care anymore. I used to do that with just like certain characters had to have every appearance. I don't do that anymore, so I'm not even doing that with What If now. But up to a certain point, Cable number 10. Punisher Warzone number 1. That's cool. So I used to have a lot of this, and I sold it at some point because I'm not a Punisher guy.
Don't punish yourself.
Punisher 28. I don't know. I might hang on to that just for nostalgia, though, because I don't think... What's funny is, I had most of that run. I don't think I ever had the first issue. But there it is. Punisher 57...
Dark Summer's Wind says, "Hey Cap, wanting to say thank you for getting me into major Batman volumes like No Man's Land and helping introduce me to other comics."
Yeah, cool. I'm glad you've been enjoying the hobby. Ghost Rider, Wolverine, Punisher, Hearts of Darkness. I've either sold this or I have a copy. I'm not sure. And I think I might have reviewed it at one point. Quasar 39. I mean, I've read a lot of comics.
It's true.
Sometimes I'll find that some of my favorite things, I don't remember that they're my favorite things. There's more Namor. Who could possibly care? Another Punisher Warzone #1. I'm going to hold on to one of those. Captain America No More. Captain America 332. I've always liked that cover. I think I've got that. I'm not sure, though. More Captain America. 225. And then we go back a little further. Here's Captain America 214. That one I may not have. If you go back far enough, I need to gap fill more. I do own the first appearance of Falcon, though. That's one I'm proud of. 183, and that would be right around these when we keep putting Falcon on the cover. And that is Marvel making a big deal out of how they made up a black superhero, and they have like 3 of them. Good job, Marvel. Ghost Rider 34. There's more Ghost Rider. Darkhold #5. I didn't know that they made a book just about the Darkhold, but okay. I was not aware of that. Ghost Rider. So, I don't know, this feels like more of a themed box so far.
Maybe.
Ghost Rider, because we've got a lot of 90s Marvel here. Okay, so here is the monthly Guardians of the Galaxy before it became what we know now with the Abnett and Lanning stuff. I own this entire run. I've never read it past the first couple issues. You know why? Because it's boring. Avenger, or at least what I read of it seemed to be Avengers West Coast. That's a fun cover. I figured on camera it would just look red, but you guys can actually see the embossedness happening there, shockingly. That's kind of neat. Iron Man 243. I'm not an Iron Man collector, so I'm not familiar with that cover. Contest of Champions. Cool. I don't have any of that. There's my boy. There's Galactus. We're going to have him on the big screen in a month and a half.
Really?
I hope it doesn't suck.
Oh, boy. That'd be terrible for you if it did.
Fantastic Four in July. Thor 412. And I do collect now the Simonson run and the stuff around it, so I may or may not need that one. What? I forgot they reprinted this. Okay. So this is Fantastic Four 391, but it's just the Galactus trilogy, or the start of it. Okay, all right. Solomon Kane. For a second, I thought it was that issue, and I was like, there's no way that's in this box. It's not. It's a reprint. Marvel Age. Okay. So it's a cover with 4 covers. I've never seen that. That's very strange. If you need more Wonder Man in your life, he's on the cover 4 times, 4 different covers on the same cover. Avengers West Coast 85. Once again, another cover. I'm not an Avengers West Coast collector. I own probably 3 or 4 of these. That's what I have.
Oh, well.
85. I don't know.
Must be a nexus of some collecting in the universe.
Yeah, or they printed more of those, or I don't know. Fantastic Four 366.
Yeah, but just because you print them doesn't mean they're going to get out there, right?
Well, I mean, if you're liquidating comic shops, you might.
Well, sure.
That's not a cover I recognize, so I probably need that one. More Avengers West Coast. We are starting, ladies and gentlemen, my Avengers West Coast collection. Avengers 241. Didn't know I needed one of those, but apparently the universe is dictated I'm going to have that now.
So why is it called West Coast? I'm imagining some real hoity-toity, like West Coastern... what, is that how you say that? West Coast of...
no, hoity-toiter is not a word.
No, hoity-toity.
Yeah, we did that with both Avengers and Justice League, where we would have like regional versions of those teams, and they'd be like BC list characters. You have Avengers West Coast,
Okay.
you have Justice League International, you have teams like that. Marvel Comics presents Cyclops. That's a great cover. I don't have that. And then we get into Miller's Man Without Fear, because why not? Just throw in all the classics. I cannot believe I bought this collection for $60. Brandon was already one of my best friends, but I think he's now popped up to beyond best friend status. Okay, Daredevil Yellow. I own this in trade. I don't have any of the singles for this. That makes me happy. I'm gap-filling Daredevil. I own a lot of Daredevil. I'm shocked that I'm finding stuff I need. Daredevil 281. And again, I'm gonna later on look up all of the stuff that, in at least the books that I collect in my database and see what I need to gap fill and go ahead and do that. I didn't want to waste everybody's time with that.
Considering how long this is taking,
I'm wasting our time anyway.
That would have been a 16-part series.
Well, and I need to get back to it because I've just been doing 89 and some other things lately, Brandon. But I was doing a series going A to Z through my entire collection. And we got past, I think, the second box, maybe. Daredevil Father for Marvel Knights. I've never read this. I don't think I have it. I might. What If 48 with Daredevil. That's falling apart. Okay, so I'll just run through these real quick. This is stuff I've got. Daredevil 321, 325, so that's the Fall from Grace stuff. Silver Surfer 59. Oh, look at that Thanos cover. That makes me happy. X Factor. Got to get in our X books here. X Force. It is not a 90s collection without some Dark Hawk. Here he is. Dark Hawk 18. The only one of those I think I've hung on to is the Venom crossover. Marvel Age 120. I was like winding up with these. We should be surprised that we've gotten this far in before we've seen any Death of Superman or Reign of the Superman, but here we go. I've only had every issue of that 19 times. Fantastic Four 376. Invaders. I've never seen that. I'm not surprised it was an early 90s Invaders, but I've never seen that. Incredible Hulk 402. This is still Peter David, because Peter David had a ridiculously long run on this. Who has drawn this? This art's kind of goofy. On the cover, anyway. Jan Duursema. That is not a name I recognize. But that looks all right. Anyway.
Braden Atkinson says Avenger West Coast was a weird, though not as weird as Great Lake Avenger.
Oh, yes, Great Lake Avengers. Speaking of that Venom crossover, here's Darkhawk 37, and I don't think I have this one. So that I will definitely have to hang on to.
Well, I'm certainly glad there's lots of stuff you can...
There's a bunch here that's worth hanging on to. Marvel Age with Peter David on writing The Hideous Truth. We should pop this open at some point and read it on stream. I'm curious to know what that article looked like. Wonder Man 12. It is Peter David Day, the second part of Peter David Day. We did Peter David last night. Now that's all we can talk about. Green Lantern Ganfit's Tale. Never heard of this. I did not know that there was a book with Ganfit's name in it. It's water damaged, but readable. Okay, Amazing 333. That was during a period where Venom was, of course, insanely popular. Then we get to an Aquaman annual, X-Force, Uncanny X-Men 304, during a period where we just cannot stop with the hologram cards, Brandon. We just can't stop with them.
It would appear there's been several we've seen so far.
This is just...
if you want,
it's a marathon. It's an absolute
pull
marathon.
them out, hand them to you if you want.
You think that'd be faster?
Well, you look so awkward
X-Men
reaching over there. I'm worried you're going to hurt your arm.
Oh, I'll be all right. I mean, I've done this a lot. Robin 2, number 2. So many of these. Ooh, DC Shadow. That's cool. Look at that cover.
That's pretty.
That's lovely. Flash!
Careful, your stack is waning.
Your stack is waning. Thanks, man. Thanks for calling me on the waning stack. Batman
Don't say that again, please.
497. So here is the famous backbreak issue, and
I'm guessing then that's the inspiration for Bane in the movie there.
Well, sure. But I don't think I have exactly this one with this weird flap open. I don't remember that. So I'll have to hang on to this too.
It's pretty.
I cannot get my
mind around that's one with a board.
This yeah. I cannot get my mind around this. This is ridiculous. We're only a box and a half in. We could run into anything here, Brandon. Batman, Dark Joker, the White. What the hell is this? What the heck? What is this?
It's tiny.
It's small, and it's black and white, and it's Doug Mensch, and I've never heard of this. What? Hero Premier. Okay, so this was in a monthly comic magazine. Weird. Okay. Batman the Outsiders. An annual for that. I'll have to gap fill those. I do collect that a little bit. Bloodlines annual. Yum. Giant. Let's see. Justice League 142. This is not in great shape, but it's cool to see this goes back this.
So what's the oldest we've seen so far?
Titans.
Was it something was it 81?
No. We went back further than that. Because we had that one that was like early 70s.
Oh yeah, 73.
But then I'm trying to remember what it was because we've seen so much already. But we went all the way back to like 68, 69 somewhere.
Oh, I must have missed that.
I'm pretty sure. Funeral for a Friend. Just two of these right together. All right. So just all this Death of Superman stuff. Obviously, I own the entire collection of that. Some Justice League. And I'm not a big Justice League collector. Oh my god! I gotta throw this down as fast as I can. It's freaking Booster Gold. Justice League America. Get out of my face, Booster Gold!
Braden says, I'm hoping for Alien Earth War.
Introducing the new Booster Gold. I hate Booster Gold.
What's Booster Gold?
I'm not even going to talk about it.
Okay, all right. Well, question withdrawn.
Anyway,
all
right, Justice League International. I brought that up earlier.
You frisbeed it.
Freaking Booster Gold. I hope I don't see any more of that, or I'm going to have to keep tossing it across the room. Justice League America 68. We have kind of a running gag on the channel about how much I hate Booster Gold.
Well, I'm in on it now.
Justice League Rocket to Russia. Look at the Russian robots, Brandon.
Okay.
Look at that. Okay, more Death Superman. Action 552. I'm really excited to gap fill some of this late 80s Superman. What is this? I don't know. Somebody wanted $10 for it at one point. What? What is this?
It's shiny. Ooh, it's like a vellum cover.
So this is from '98, and it's something called Superman Save the Planet. It looks like a one-shot. I've never heard of this.
That's really cool looking.
Yeah, this is awesome.
So when the cover look at it without the background. When you just opened it there.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty.
Yeah, it's really neat.
The background is separate from the vellum art.
Remember how I said this is a $300 or $400 collection? I mean, at least. Action 553. So yeah, I'm going to be gap filling a bunch of Superman in action here. That's wonderful. Superman 317.
Does he become the Hulk?
Nah, he's getting attacked with kryptonite.
Oh, well, that was my second guess.
Alpha Flight. Nobody cares about Alpha Flight. Daredevil 228.
It's an interesting cover.
Yeah, I've always liked that one. Nomad. Nomad, Daredevil 229. So like I said, there's some Daredevil here I don't have. More Alpha Flight. What are people saying in the comments, Brandon? Harbinger from Valiant.
Too many booster. I hope that the rest of the boxes are just booster gold. That's one reply.
Screw you. One reply. Valor. Oh, there's Sandman Mystery Theater, #1. I don't collect that, but it's cool to see it here. Teen Titans.
One reply said earlier, this art is kind of goofy. That would describe every 90s comic.
That's not fair. Here are the first couple issues of DC's, or I should say early 90s Spectre, late 80s, early 90s. That's cool. I'm going to get sick doing this. Green Lantern 196. Just, I don't know. Some of this is old. You get kind of dusty. Green Arrow. Oh, and this is 04. We've been looking at a lot of late 90s or late 80s, early 90s stuff here, and so when I see anything 2000s now, it feels like I'm being whiplashed back closer to the present. Black Lightning, #1, from, I don't know when this is, 95. I didn't know there was a Black Lightning comic right then. Warlord, I always wind up with these in collections. This is oddly nostalgic. Dr. Fate.
So this is both a mix of expected and wildly unexpected.
Yeah. There's some Green Lantern, Green Arrow. That's exciting to have. I would love to collect that whole run. Outside, I've got it in trade. Outsiders, more Shade the Changing Man, more Green Lantern, Green Arrow. There's just too many people, Brandon. Too many people.
Oh my.
I don't know, that's what it says. Ooh, there's a bunch of this. Well, I'm starting my Green Lantern, Green Arrow collection here, folks. That's exciting. The Ray. Here is... I want to say this is... Is this Peter David's? No, this would be past that, I think. Anyway, this is DC's movie Star Trek #1. I don't know if I have this. I may. I have a bunch of Peter David's one, though. Demon, which I think predates that. I think. Because I think his stuff was Marvel, but I might be wrong. And when I would look at this many different titles at once, my brain turns to goo and I start forgetting things I used to know.
Well, when you look at the same title for too long, the same thing happens. So, as evidenced by Spawn Year, which spawned 2 years.
Oh, that didn't make me forget things. That just made me cynical and hate everything. That's different, Brandon.
Well, but your brain turned to mush, though. You've mentioned it before.
Well, yes, that's true. That's true, and I couldn't write like a normal person for like 2 years after that.
You couldn't muster the strength.
I couldn't, Brandon. Hey, Brandon?
Yes, Cap.
If you're cool with it, I'm going to take just a real quick break. I'm going to run upstairs and wash my hands.
Sure.
Because I'm going to start... like, this stuff's going to get to me. And I want to see if my wife's back yet and just say something to her real quick.
That's quite all right.
If you don't mind just hanging out and talking to people.
I do not.
Cool.
I can see your
if you need
queries.
a break too, though, I can just cut the feed for a minute.
I'm good.
Are you good?
I'm good for the moment.
Well, you want to talk to everybody? I'll be right back. Drink here real quick.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm excited to see the rest of this,
now that you mention it, and I'd love to talk to people, but I should probably just go ahead and take a break.
It is freaking Christmas here. You gonna take a break too?
Yes. Okay, Christmas
let me see my mouse then.
The summer. Oh.
I'm gonna need that.
You are. My God. There you go. Oh my God! Don't click things.
My God.
Delete stream.
We're so professional, guys. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, I'm back. I'm just waiting for Brandon. How the heck is everyone? Checking to see how many people are still with us. So we've gotten through two short boxes, and we've already been broadcasting an hour. I can't do this as fast as I want to, and show you guys everything. But and there's also been more in these boxes than I expected. I guess because they're not bagged and boarded, or they're not boarded, and a lot of them aren't bagged either. So there's a lot more in a box. So I mean, yeah, I'm trying to rush through what will probably be like 700 books, I imagine. Um, I'm trying to decide if I should wait for Brandon or start going through more of these, and then I can just show him what there is when he gets back down here. But I just didn't want you guys to wait for me forever. Um, I don't know what else could we be talking about here. I don't know why my computer is beeping at me. I guess real quick, just to stall for time, I'll tell you guys what's going on for the rest of this week. I had not planned on broadcasting anything today, and then Brandon said he could bring these over tonight, and I was like, we might as well get a show out of it. So it's always fun to open your Christmas gifts in front of people. Anyway, so tomorrow night we're gonna have a Captain Logan show. Don't know what the leading topic is gonna be yet. there was a new trailer for Jurassic World Rebirth. I'm not gonna have a ton to say about that, and I feel like there was another trailer or two, but I'll see what other news ends up popping up. We might do some kind of a Batman thing too, since it's Batmay, and we haven't done a dedicated Batman stream yet for the Captain Logan show this month, and the month is already almost over, and we haven't gotten that much Batman content out, but a little bit. Thursday night, we're going to be reviewing the original Planet of the Apes for Request. That should be a fun discussion. I think that's just a review and not a commentary. I gotta go back and double check, but I'm pretty sure that he just requested a review. And then Friday night, once again for Batman, we're gonna do a commentary on a blind commentary. I've never sat through the whole thing of the 1943 Batman serial. So going all the way back to the very first, here he comes, on-screen live-action Batman thing. Well, I guess live-action or otherwise, because of course there wasn't an animated serial or cartoon or anything. And I don't know if we'll get through all of it, because it's like 3 hours and 45 minutes, but we might, knowing Austin and I, especially if I can get started anything close to on time. But I've got a writers meeting on Friday, and these days I skip the Rewind Commentary Project on nights that we have a writers meeting, because they almost always go late, and then I'm not starting our commentary until like 11 that night. So and that's letting us get some blind commentaries in, which has been nice. Some marathons. Brandon,
yes, Cap.
I was just telling everybody what the schedule was for this week. Now,
sure,
it's time for more comics.
More comics.
When do you need to get going?
Whenever.
Okay, cool. If you
tomorrow,
if you need to leave at some point, feel free, and I'll finish this without you.
Probably before midnight, but like I don't know how long you're gonna. If this is running especially long, I don't know when you're gonna want to cut it off. It's cool with me.
Yeah, I'm not either. I'm good right now. Like I'll just see how long I can get away with it.
With me, the first time we've done that on, just gone as whatever.
Yeah, I don't want to split it into two because I don't want them to sit here and
right.
You're anxious. What they are. Like,
you're anxious.
I want to see what the rest of it is.
Might as well put it there. Put it down.
Here is The Losers. I've never had that in my possession. You ever seen that movie?
No.
That's a good film. Peacemaker.
Live action or animated?
Oh no, live action. The Losers is a real popular action movie based on that material. Austin is going to be really jealous of me with that. That's cool. And it's funny because Peacemaker was not a character I'd ever heard of, was familiar with before the Suicide Squad, and so it's interesting seeing just how close his costume is to that movie and that TV show, because I didn't know what that character looked like. Suck on that, Austin. Peacemaker 4. I hope I have all of it, and I'm going to keep it, even though I don't care about this character, just to make Austin angry. That's my plan. Teen Titans 14. Austin has every intention of being here for the movie premiere.
Oh, good.
He's going to fly in from Canada.
Well,
he's going to try to stay with me for a few days.
Conversely, you could hold on to it and give it to him when he came to town as a gift.
No, I'm gonna show it to him and then I'm gonna hide it. Is my plan? No, I may do that. Mr. Miracle 20. Yeah, I probably will give it to him. If I'm in a good mood, I don't know what that is. Warlord. You always wind up with that when you're trying to resell stuff. Again, I'm not getting back into the business or anything. Although this would not be a bad collection to start again, if I don't want to, but if I did, this would be an okay place to start. Darkhold 14.
Careful what you say you don't want to do. That started a thing for you.
Oh, great. So this is Legends #1. Austin and I have reviewed this. I like this maxi series a lot. That's Ostrander, and I don't think I have a #1. I know I've got half or better of this. I think this was, what was it? 7 or 8 issues, but anyway, yeah, that's cool. So the reason I can't remember how many parts this is in, maybe it's 6 or 8, is because the the number of how many parts it is missing. And there's unfortunately, this is a little bit ripped up. But look, where that little rip is it's the whatever part miniseries that's missing. Oh, crazy! So this series I do collect, and I don't think I have that issue.
Jayla?
That's JLA, you mook. OMAC. I haven't punched Brandon in a while.
Well, I
Son
almost said
of
JLA,
Vulcan.
and then I was like, no, Jayla.
Jayla. Yeah. Sounds like a crappy R&B artist or something. Ultimate X-Men. Gotta get back to the Ultimate stuff here. Fables. This is all over the place. What is that doing in here? Sun Devils by Jerry Conway and Dan Jurgens.
How are you going to ask that after saying it's all over the place? It's all over the place.
It is. It's all over the place. Lumberjanes with Gotham Academy. Well, yeah, but this gets a little bit even more recent than I was expecting to. I think. Is this... Because I think this is even later than that 2012 stuff.
So like 2014.
Battle Tide.
Our spread's like 60 years.
No. Omega Man. It makes sense if this is the remnants of a comic shop, though.
Yeah.
So this is that sampler, that free comic based sampler from New 52. Brightest Day Aftermath, The Search for Swamp Thing. So you had all these, again, tie-in series with Brightest Day. That was just when I was getting back into, or when I was getting into current, back when I started the channel. Infinity Man and the Forever People.
You could start a comic rental library.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well just read digital. Future's End. Future's End was not good. It was, in fact, terrible. Anita Blake, I've never read that. Orchid. So now we're back to Dark Horse. They have no properties anymore. Inhuman. Not Inhumans. There's a guy named Inhuman. This is a Charles Soule book. That is 2015. So, I mean, we're getting even more recent here. Uber Dub? The hell? What's that? All right. I own it now. Shadow Empires. Dark Horse. For a second, I thought that was a Star Wars thing, but it's not. There's Spanner's Galaxy. Again, a thing you wind up with when you buy collections out like this. Tyler Zayas, that Gotham Academy book might be the most recent thing here. Until we got to Inhuman, I think that might even be tied. I'm not sure. Justice.
Adam March says, I thought Brandon was making a Star Trek Beyond reference. Jayla.
Good
catch, but I did not even think that.
Did you even remember that character's
name? No, I didn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought so.
But I know who he's talking about now. You know that...
Black Condor. And The Ray. Okay. Future's End sent a chill down my spine. It should. That was painful. But, you know, sometimes you got to get knocked all the way down to get back up again, and that's what happened with that. Bloodhound. I don't know what that is. Amazing Samon. This book has, or this box has more things in it that I've never heard of than either of those other two boxes. Also, more things I could not care less about than those other boxes. El Diablo. Ah, look, we got an El Diablo book. Hilarious. I forgot that character ever had his own book. I don't know. Some of this stuff gets funnier the more like comic adaptation gets made. Savage Dragon versus the Savage Megaton Man. Look, it's Savage Dragon. One of the hardest issues, and I don't have it anymore because I sold my whole Spawn collection, but one of the issues that was hardest to get my hands on was the Spawn Savage Dragon crossover one-shot. Danger Trail.
I was kind of hoping we'd find some like Star Trek comics in here too.
Well, I found one.
Oh, I missed that.
I showed it to you.
Did you?
It was DC 89. It was movie era.
Yes.
Yeah. Batwoman 32. Okay, well that's a couple issues before that other one we had duplicates of. New 52 Swamp Thing. Let's pick up a stack. Okay, I'm bored now.
Stacks.
I'm bored now. This is going to have to start getting interesting again. Solution. Something called Man Called Axe. More El Diablo. Folks, I have started my El Diablo collection.
As 3 new collections started, let's get colors on the line here.
Austin's going to get damn excited about that. The Hunted That was facetious. Battle for Bloodhaven with Infinity Crisis. I remember that. Nightmark. Okay. I don't know what that company is. Alpha.
Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah. I'm not even going to say the names of these things anymore. I don't know what we're looking at here. What are you showing me here? Chain Gang War. You know, I'm always praising DC for how great a shape they were in the early 90s, and I see things like this, and I'm like, okay.
Were they?
More Black Condor. We're also starting our Black Condor collection. This is... Oh, this is Claremont. Okay. Like, real late Claremont. Another New 52 book I've never heard of. The Hunted. All right. Motor Mouth. Ghost. That's at least a thing somebody likes. Return of Wolverine. He's back, Bob. Look how heavy this free comic book issue is. This is like 15 or 16 also. This is relatively recent. That was heavy. Now my hands hurt. Firearm. Okay, now we're gonna. This should have been the last box. Well, actually, that's not fair because you want your last box to be half decent that you get excited about. Deathmatch, Grim Jack. Okay, now I'm a little worried. All the good stuff was in the first two boxes.
Oh,
I'm a little worried about it. Old Blood.
We'll find out.
There was some okay stuff at the front of this, I guess. Brigade, Cyber Force, Cyberella. I need the next several things to say cyber. Bloodshot, Hardcore. I just fell asleep in front of you guys. My mistake. Dr. Mark. Okay. Well, that was not painful, but not great. Okay.
We'll find out what's coming.
We got some okay stuff at the front of that, though.
It was front-loaded.
Oh, we're not done. I'm sorry. For some reason, I'm getting delirious now. For some reason, I thought I'd grab the rest of the box. We still have about a quarter of this box left, Brandon.
Okay. Understood.
So, I don't know. There's hope. What is that? Oh, that's the one I threw.
Yes, I returned it to near your rest of them.
That's my favorite sentence you've ever said. Okay. Tyler, that Wolverine is almost definitely the most recent book. I think it is, yeah. He's keeping score on that.
Okay.
He's keeping score on that.
Keep the spread.
Get more interesting. What? The Monarchy. And
I thought you were going to say the Hierarchy.
Arcanum. Now we're getting into the books that make it sound like I don't know how to read. Youngblood Yearbook. Metaphor. JMS's Midnight Nation. Wildcats. Megahertz. I'm keeping that. Ultraverse Prime. Red Menace. Why did he put all the crap together? Brigade.
Couldn't
Mayday,
tell you. I didn't ask.
Metaphor. Suicide Risk. Enigma. More hardcore. Young Blood something. Okay. Board now.
Oh, there's still more in that box.
Some more previews. There's more Swamp Thing. I forgot Charles Soule worked on that book. Because, of course, Snyder started that. Nevada. Vampirella. I think we had one of those earlier. Death's Head. There's Snyder's American Vampire. People like that book. Swamp. More Swamp Thing. Well, if you like Swamp Thing, we got your Swamp Thing right here. DC. Final Crisis and Aftermath. Dance! Okay.
Followed by Damage.
Damage. Okay, what you want to do is make sure I can read your title. That's important. Vigilante.
Do they, though? Maybe
Vigilante
they don't.
Southland. I do like Vigilante, and I've never heard of this. There's Green Hornet. That's Dynamite's Green Hornet. Exterminators, Trigger, Brigade. Telos. No, stop it. Nobody cares. The Movement, Animal Man from New 52. I'm just gonna start showing these to the okay. Amazing Spider-Man 700.5. This point
and a
crap.
half.
No, 0.5, Brandon. Earth 2. I know it sounds like a half, but they have a whole stupid point system. Earth 2. I remember some of that being okay. The Figment. Oh, yes, the Disney Kingdoms thing. 2 copies of Dial H number 10. Okay. Oh, this is good, though. I got number 4 of Spider-Girl. That's great. Mayday Parker. I would love to collect this whole run. I love her.
Oh, okay.
Jason also loves her. Starstone. Jason's a big fan of, like, female, I don't want to say knockoff heroes, but like he's a big he's a big fan of Cassandra Cain Batgirl, and he's a big fan of Mayday Parker. Fate. I guess he's decided to stop going by Doctor now. There's Young Heroes in Love. Oh, okay. Secret Empire number 3.
Here's more Cyber.
So this was kind of notorious. Cyber Force, Black and White, the New Men, Terror Inc. That's interesting. I didn't even know about that. Justice. Into the Badlands. Old Archie, Fallen Apart, and another issue of Bone. And now we finish this box.
As I would expect someone who's been in high school for the last 60 years to be falling apart. Longer than that, maybe.
Just get out of high school, dude.
Yeah. Just graduate already. Come on. You can only fail Algebra 2 so many times.
Sort of like a show that was on the CW for too long. You know, like that Archie show. Okay,
Indeed.
Brandon, we are halfway there, sir. I mean, maybe a little less since we.
A little less because of the long box, but yeah.
Should we do the long box next, or should we do another one?
I want to. Well, okay. I tell you what. Open up the tops of these 3 boxes. Look in them, and you tell me, based on what you see. Just based on what looks like the quality of the content.
Okay, I'm fading a little bit. I'm gonna try to get a second win here.
I could punch you, but I don't think you'd like that.
You know what? I'll take it under advisement, though. Maybe later. One reply, Cap is beginning to show comics at the speed Chinese influencers show product.
Ooh.
Well, we're not reviewing them. And I'm doing that with things that I just could not care less about. Okay,
I'm glad you read that one.
This one's almost full.
Oh.
Oh, that comment was hilarious.
So you want to end with that one?
No, we'll go do it.
Is it boards too?
Is that cool? Yeah, there's some boards.
Yeah, I'm here for however many you want to do. I'll do them all with you.
All right, let's do it. Here we go. More Nomad. I'm going to try to go a little quicker, unless we get to stuff that I'm just really excited about. Detective 985. I don't think I have that. That's really recent. Detective 986. Wow, we're getting this stuff right before 1000. That's nothing.
Best board we've seen all day.
Moon Knight 43. Now we're into stuff again. Daredevil 305. Ooh, that's a cool cover, and I don't have that. I don't think. There's your Star Trek, Brandon. Here is Star Trek. Ooh, this was the 6-issue miniseries from '88. That's exciting, actually. That's number 1. That might book a little bit. I'm not sure. I think I have had in my possession before the first issue of the ongoing, but I forgot there was a mini first. I'm sorry. At the risk of slowing down, I want to pop this open for a second. Okay, that tape is really on there. We'll move on.
You want me to open it for you?
No, we'll go ahead and move on. But I'll hold this out. I want to look at it later because I can't remember what that art looks like, and I'm curious to know who that was. Ooh, this is number 2 of Grell's Green Arrow, and I got a bunch of this in a collection a few years ago, and have started actively collecting it. I don't think I have that issue, so that's exciting too. Brandon, it doesn't suck again. Wrath of the Spectre, number 1. I'm not a big Spectre guy, but he's interesting. 2 copies of 7. And Zatanna, why not? Get in some more titles that we haven't heard yet. Firestorm, why the hell not? More Grell Green Arrow. This is exciting because this is some of the earliest issues of this series, and I think mine starts around 10 or 15, maybe. I'm not sure. Winix Green Arrow. I actually have this issue, but that's the Riddler cover. Green Lantern 28, and I mean, if you're looking at the issues or at the covers, you can tell what era we're looking at. I'm throwing out some numbers, but not volumes. Guy Gardner. Oh, Guy Gardner versus Lobo. Jason's going to want this one. I'm going to hold that out for Jason. He'll be excited to see that. Spirits of Vengeance.
I've been wondering if you were going to hold any to the side.
I should have that. Yeah, I mean, not a ton, because I'll go back through all this.
Of course.
I'm going to keep, I'm going to keep a lot of this, but Adventures of Superman 506. I mean, I say a lot. I'm going to keep stuff that I need to gap fill or that I want to start in on now that I've got it. There's a lot here that I have already, so there'll still be plenty for you guys to grab from if you want some of it. X-Men Adventures 5. Quasar. More Darkhawk. Why not? Let's just collect Darkhawk now. Let's keep all the Darkhawk and act like we give a crap about that. Sure. Death's Head. Is that? Okay, yeah, I don't know what that is. Code name Jeanette X. Just anything that has an X in it, Brandon. With X-Men. We're gonna turn. Ooh, did I just rip that? No. X-Force 13. I mean, who really cares? But this might be the most recent thing in here. Here is Old Man Logan. 45.
Old Man Logan. Okay, considering
what
I know, that's a hilarious title.
Well, yeah, that's what that's based on, Brandon. I'm just seeing how recent this is. I forgot this series went that long. That's so ridiculous.
So what are we up to now? Like what?
Yeah, this is 2018, you guys.
Oh,
this is definitely the most recent. What do you mean? What are we up to?
2018.
Yes.
What year are we up to? You answered immediately, so I thought you understood my reference, but yeah.
No, I got you. I thought you were asking about something else. Batman and Robin 6. So this is New 52. That's Tomasi stuff. There's some more 90s Iron Man, 90s Avengers.
More J-Law.
Would you stop it with that? You sound like a dumb person. Snyder Batman.
Well, I'm all educated now.
Flash 62.
Nikki says that she loves Spectre. Spectre is great, especially JSA Golden Age Spectre.
Yeah, I haven't read a ton with him. Man from Atlantis.
One reply says, and make the entire channel about Darkhawk now.
So at one point I had a lot of this 90s Flash in my possession, and I sold it and I kind of regretted it. And if there's very much of that here, I might hang on to it this time. I'm not a giant Flash guy, but that run is supposed to be really good. More 90s Thor. More Daredevil I've got already. I've always liked this cover a lot, Brandon.
Yeah.
With Venom.
So I've noticed that some of these boxes have
Aquaman.
markings on them. Like this one says 17-88. Does that have any bearing on what's in the box, do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know what that meant at whatever shop this was at, so...
Just curious if it lined up with anything you would consider.
This isn't in any kind of order.
Yeah, it's weird.
So, this is crazy. So here's some JMS Spider-Man, and I don't own any of this in singles. So that's exciting. I've always been of two minds about that stuff, but I'm glad to have some of it. That's nice. Oh, man!
What's
really? Is this a trade or... Yeah, it is. Okay, so this is an old trade for Batman Year 2 by Mike W. Barr. And this has some McFarlane art in it. So this has that famous drawing.
Sorry, I'm trying to look over here and I could just look at the screen. It's been a while since I've been on live camera.
Ooh, that's exciting. That's from 1990, so this has got to be a first printing. I'm happy to see that. This is in great shape, too. That's awesome. So, and that's interesting, too, because it means that we got a year 1 and a year 2 trade in here. I reviewed this last year for Batman.
Batman.
Yeah, where Batman ends up working with Joe Chill, and he carries the gun that killed his parents, and it's crazy.
Ooh.
It's absolutely nuts, and it introduces the villain that may or may not have been the inspiration for Phantasm. Silver Sable in the Wild Pack, another thing you wind up with in these collections all the time. More FF I may not have. Nomad, more Marvel Age. With, look, Ren and Stimpy on the cover.
I never liked Ren and Stimpy.
What's that?
I never liked Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan myself, but more Spirits of Vengeance, and that's in a... We also bagged a lot of things back then. Somebody opened that one, though. Punisher War Journal. What are people saying in the comments, Brandon?
One reply, oh, I'm so jealous about Batman Year 2.
I know. That was a treasure there. I'm excited about that.
There's more comics that came in that I didn't realize.
Oh, you're good.
Thomas says, Quasar Saber from PR Lost if I could read. Quasar Saber from PR Lost Galaxy.
What does that have to do with anything? He's just talking about Power Rangers. Maybe we saw something called Quasar, and he's just going to Power Rangers now. Seriously?
Noel asks, which Avenger is your most favorite?
Seriously? Seriously? We wound up with this 4 times. This is in sealed bags. I'm just gonna find random people and give these away to them. Just
give one to Chris.
Throw them at people. I should give one to Chris. Night Stalkers. Zero, the beginning of tomorrow. More Silver Sable. Captain Justice. And that's a Marvel book. What the hell is this? From the new hit TV series Once a Hero. I've never heard of that. So it couldn't have been much of a hit. That's weird. New Warriors. Batman Green Arrow, The Poison Tomorrow. I don't think I have this. I've got a lot of these like pristine format 90s Batman things, but I don't think I have that one. Avengers 314. More West Coast Avengers, Brandon.
Oh boy. So did we do East Coast Avengers too?
No.
No?
No. Well, the Avengers would already be on the East Coast because they're in New York, Brandon.
Well, yeah, but you can have a clique.
They weren't like a clique.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that.
I don't know why you said it like that. More Robin too.
Apparently I can't talk today.
Yeah, it's not like they had a split in the Baptist church and they went, we took the Avengers and we took half of them on the East Coast and half on the West Coast. I think it was just a different Avengers team, Brandon. That's just from
a couple of years ago, the United Methodist Church actually split. And it was funny to me because they were called the United Methodist Church.
I'll have to get that to Jason.
And now they should be called the Divided Methodist Church. They did split.
Streets. Underworld Unleashed. I kind of remember that. And then this is old Vertigo Animal Man.
Animal Man.
Green Lantern Corps. So yeah, Jason will be excited about some of this Green Lantern. Hawkman. I didn't know about this crazy gold cover.
I saw a gold-covered car the other day.
Showcase 93 Catwoman. I don't have that.
It was all brass shiny.
So I've always liked this cover a lot. This is Catwoman #1 from her long ongoing. And I had a bunch of these in my possession once, signed by either the writer or the artist. I can't remember. But I sold a bunch of those.
Did you keep one?
I don't remember. I should have. I don't remember if I did or not, but I sold a ton of them. I'm excited about some of these Catwomans, though, because this is a series I'd like to have more of. I own a few of these, but I've always liked this Catwoman suit, and these covers are just boss.
Well, I'm thrilled that you're going to be gap
Really
filling
good.
to such an extent that you're really favorable with here.
Yeah, I'm probably going to get... I don't know. It looks like I'm likely to get a long box worth out of this.
I'd be interested to know an exact number when you're said and done, how many there were versus how many
I give a crap about keeping.
yeah, but versus how many you're gap filling for and how many you were just like, oh my god, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, sure.
There's another one of those.
I don't know what the hell this is.
Oh, I thought that was the same red cover. It's not.
No, it's not. It's not. It's a different one. It looks like it's just messed up. Fantastic Four 371. I don't know what they're doing with this. That's crazy. And it's completely falling apart. Yeah, sorry about that, Brandon.
Thanks a million, friend.
Well, I didn't know it was going to go your direction. Punisher 94. Black Axe from Marvel. Brandon and I are both going to be really fucking sick tomorrow.
I'm just coming off of food poisoning, so thanks.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. You can go over there. Daredevil 308. Oh, Nikki's leaving. No, man.
Oh, got a piece
Daredevil
out.
223. But yeah, if you got to get going, man.
I don't.
Daredevil 299. Is she at work or?
Well, she is working, but
Sure,
she
4 and
can.
5.
She generally has a lot of leeway to watch. I don't know why she has to peach out.
Bye,
piece
Nikki.
out.
Thanks.
Boy, I can just not talk anymore.
Thanks for picking
apparently.
up this really shockingly good collection. I mean, there's some crap here, but a lot of this. We got another 2099 number one. That's wild. And there haven't been very many other issues of that. Like, here's 46. I think that's the only other one we've seen. Right? And these, I think, are starting to be worth a little more now.
Yeah.
Yeah, just early Venom stuff. So here's the start of Maximum Carnage, which is the thing I still like a lot. Web Spider-Man 101. So yeah, we got some of Maximum Carnage, Amazing 363, a couple copies of that. Because why not? Okay, we just got through another box.
Cool.
That was not bad.
One short and one long to go.
That's it. That was an okay box.
Started good.
Well, and it had one of the most exciting things we've seen so far, which was that Batman Year 2 trade.
Yeah.
Okay, Brandon.
Uh,
While I'm putting this away, you gotta.
No, I was actually about to read another comment here.
Comments or tell an amusing
So
anecdote,
the
Brandon.
people on the screen can see I leaned in to read more comics. So is it Noel or Noel Anderson?
I go back and forth. I bet it's Noel, but I don't actually.
If it's Noel, say yes. If it's Noel, say no. They said the Halle Berry one was
hey,
very
Brandon,
bad.
There's nothing stopping him from just typing out. Oh, well, that's true. It would be hard for him to tell us how to pronounce his name in text, wouldn't it? Anyway,
perchance.
yes, we all know that's a terrible thing. Yep.
One reply says, yeah, props to Brandon and Nikki. It was a great find. Yes, it was. Should start charging commissions. No, I love looking out for stuff for Cap. I am always sending him stuff from places that I go all the time.
It's really cool of you guys. Like, you
Of
don't have to do
course.
that.
Of course. But just remember me if you ever find, Action Comics #1. That's all I'm saying. If I ever accidentally hand that over to you, just remember me.
Oh, okay, Brandon. Oh, cool. So we might get into gap fill some more late 80s detective. I think I may have this one. This feels like it should have a couple in it, though. It does. So
It
there's
does.
602 and 603. I do this enough, Brandon.
You know I was about to say you know your bags well, Captain.
Yeah, I can tell right away if there's too much weight there.
Well, that's why you picked up a bag earlier and it was heavier than you thought, and it was that trade, and I could tell you were confused by the weight of the bag.
Yeah. I've done this a lot. JLA Classified 12, or 90s Green Lantern, 0 Hour. Of course, you gotta have one of those in there. Silver Surfer 71. Blah. Robin 3. Okay, well now we gotta get into Cry of the Huntress. We already had 1 million copies of every issue of Robin 2. So now of course we gotta get in here, and then you gotta get this business going on.
What's that business?
I don't know. I think
it's a pole thing.
Yeah, I think it's a pole thing.
Oh, interesting.
This one's busted. It looks like.
But it was a lenticular type.
Yeah, I've got one of those somewhere. Spider-Man Saga.
I mean, whether or not these things work or stay working after so much time, I still think it's fascinating the kind of gimmicks they try sometimes.
Ooh, this is just a part. Well, that's okay. So look,
but you got 2 copies.
So, yeah, I was about to make a joke.
Sorry.
Look, it's all destroyed. Oh, that's so sad. Ah, never mind. Psych. Not a big deal.
Oh, you still got to make your joke. Sorry, it surprised me.
Amazing 362. I'm gonna cry. You ruined my joke. Here is the Grendel Batman crossover. That's kind of neat to get my hands on. I collect weird Batman crossovers. I have the Darkness Batman crossover, which is pretty cool. And then here is Detective 982. Again, we're getting real recent. That's not a bad cover. That's kind of cool. Gotham Knights. Detective 795. I'm going to be a little sad when we're done with all this, Brandon. I mean, I don't want to waste everybody's time. There's part of me that wants to slow down and savor this more, you know. I feel like I'm eating dessert. JLA #1 Index. I've never seen this. That's interesting. That's going to be probably a late 70s, early 80s thing.
So Noel says you can pronounce my name either way.
Oh, okay. How do you pronounce it? Okay, so this is very surreal, Brandon.
Okay.
And I'm not making this up when I say this. So now I mentioned that we just reviewed Death in the Family last week.
Yes.
Okay, so the last issue that we reviewed in that, because we reviewed Death in the Family proper, and then we reviewed the first 2 issues before it and the epilogue right after it.
Okay.
That's issue 430.
Okay.
This is the very next issue, and I read this in the car today in digital.
Oh, nice.
Not kidding. This is the issue I read while I was waiting for my kids.
Did you have to buy it? And did you already have it?
I think I have a copy of this. But I was reading on my tablet. I was reading digital. Isn't that crazy? And Detective 637. That's awesome. But yeah, that's Owlsley. And he takes over from Starlin right after his run. And so far, I'm liking him quite a bit. I had never read that stuff. I've had that forever. Here is Perez Wonder Woman #1. I wish it was in better shape, but that's cool.
Noel says you can blame their mom for that. Name pronunciation. Sounds like a fascinating story.
So this is a first printing, it looks like, of Dark Knight Returns Volume 4. So that's crazy. That's just in here. I don't know what these book for now, but I've only ever had this in trade. I've never had the singles. I don't think. Maybe I have the first issue in single. But there's people in the comments that are going to be jealous of that, too. That's really cool. And I'll be really excited if the rest of it is in here. But, Brandon, that's not the kind of stuff that you see in cheap collections like this. People hang on to that stuff. Teen Titans Spotlight.
Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason to me why he was... I talked to him. He said he went through and he took what he wanted and he kept, stuff he was fond of, and here's the rest.
Some of this is not normal. We got really lucky with this. It's very neat. Spotlight on Aqualad. And the Brotherhood
weird.
of Evil. More Star Trek, Brandon.
More Star Trek.
Wonder Girl. Omega Men, Thunder and Lightning, Magenta.
So the spread you're seeing,
Aqualad.
What would you be surprised?
Sorry, it looks like there's a bunch of these Teen Titans spotlights. I'm not a Teen Titans guy, so I don't look here, but somebody would be excited about these, I am sure. What are you going to say?
Well, we keep seeing new things come in here that we haven't seen yet in the other boxes. Is there anything, would you care to wager a guess at something you think based on what we've seen so far, what we could just see randomly, like a property.
Yeah, well, once again, I mean, it is odd we've not seen a single spawn yet.
Yeah.
But that guy might have been a spawn guy. He might have kept all of it. Who knows? But I could see a spawn number 1 showing up in here.
Okay.
At this point, that could happen. There have been some half decent keys, and there have been some first issues I would think you'd hang on to. But beyond that, I mean, I'm surprised we haven't seen a Superman 75 yet.
Okay.
Because there's been enough death of in here, I would think that might have happened by now, but that we've not run into. I don't know. I have to think about it. I'm not sure what else I'm expecting because there's some stuff I would not have thought would pop in here that we
certainly, yeah.
So yeah, here's Madala Imperative by Michael Jan Friedman. Green Arrow Annual 91. This is more Mike Grell. I've never seen this cover. It's beautiful.
That is pretty.
And this must be an oversized annual. Yeah, it is. More Nomad. We've had like 2 or 3 of these. More Green Lantern, Green Arrow. That's exciting. One reply, a surprising lack of Milestone comics. Yeah, I'm with you. I would have expected to see more of that by now, too. This is probably going to be the earliest thing that we've seen so far, Brandon. This is a 20-cent comic.
A what comic?
This is a 20-cent comic. So
okay.
This is Demon. That's Etrigan. Let's see what the year is on this. So the most recent thing we found is 2018.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we've seen...
Well, somebody said that one might have been just a little bit after that. But...
Oh, yes. Yeah, and we didn't check the date, but yeah, I forget what it was because we've been looking at so many titles.
Something Wolverine,
but...
I think.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And
that's
then
too far.
Some of those detectives getting close to 1,000 might have been more recent than that. I'm not sure. Oh, this is 73. Okay. Okay, I thought this was earlier than that. I don't know why this is a 20-cent comic in 73. I would think that you'd be a little higher by that point, but I thought this might go into late 60s, but it did not. Anyway, whatever. I'm wasting everyone's time.
More Star Trek.
More Star Trek. So this is... yeah, I'm not sure who's working on this, but that's from that same run we were looking at earlier. Brave and the Bold, starring Batman and Catwoman. Look at that Catwoman suit. That's cool. Batman Family. I have a few of these. It's cool to see this again. These are always big and oversized. And you know what? You know what, everybody? Why the hell not? Let's even do Batman Year 2 in singles. Yeah? Let's just go ahead and throw that in there, too. I don't have any of these. If I had to pick one cover, that would be the cover. Why not? Let's get that too. Let's just turn the knife with the guy that was jealous I got that in trade and throw a single in his face too. Why the heck not? DC Who's Who. I've kept some of these. I don't know if I have that issue, but that's really cool.
What is that?
What are we?
Is that a record?
Now what are we doing here? How are these just in this box? Now, and I have some of these, and I don't know if this is one I've got, but this is a Batman storybook record from probably the 70s.
Well, that's freaking awesome.
$60 this whole collection. We even got record sets that's so cool.
Oh, with the storybook there too.
Yep, with the storybook. So I collect.
I have seen some of those before.
I'll have to check and see if I have either of these already. I'm not sure. But anyway,
that's neat.
Really neat. Yeah, Ghost Rider. FF Annual. I don't know if I've got that one. More Contested Champions. Cool. And that's number 1 for that. Here's that weird Aquaman series from the mid-'80s that people like. I've never read that. The first Robin miniseries. Flash. Oh, cool. Whitman Star Trek. This will probably be the earliest thing we've seen so far.
Okay.
No, it's not. Is this This is 78. I didn't know Whitman went this long. Weird. But anyway, that's in pretty good shape.
That's art I recognize.
Also really cool to have. So did I tell you this, Brandon? When I got my Star Trek tattoo, it was between this and that logo.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
I
a good
seriously
logo.
considered that logo. But it would have been the one with the ship flying through it.
Yeah.
Because it's got like the line that goes between the words. Okay. Well, this winded back around from boring again, Brandon. Now it's just...
It's been a fascinating look through.
Yeah, this is crazy. Titans, New Titans. That's a great cover. This is in the middle of Lonely Place of Dying. I don't think I have that, so I'm really glad to get my hands on that. Teen Titans 71. Bunch of New Titans. JLA Annual. We got it twice! What? Okay. Green Lantern 195.
Your stack is waning again.
Oh, he's always talking to me about my waning stack. I've got a real problem with that.
You got a real waning stack problem, McFly.
Waning stack problem, McFly. Black Lightning #1. I think this is... I don't know if Black Lightning appeared in anything before this, or if he was introduced in this, but that's probably worth something. Green Lantern 17. And this again. And I've had these a million times. More of those. Okay. We're getting there, Brandon.
We're getting there. So just a couple more in that box there.
Hold on. I'm going to skip ahead for a second. I just got to look at this for a second. That might be the one I'm missing.
Yeah?
Okay. So then we also get singles of Crisis. Those are just in here. Okay. I bought the majority of it at some point. I can't remember what I spent on it. That's 12 issues. I bought all but one, and I can't remember if I'm missing the last one or if it was in fact 8 I was missing. I don't remember. I'll have to look. And 7 is in here, which is of course the famous cover with that. And there's is that thick, or is that also 2 issues? Yeah, I didn't remember that was that thick, but it is. Crazy. This is wild. This is just absolutely wild. Tyler, I think that is the first appearance of Black Lightning. Look at that. New Titans. The Titans. There's just so many Titans. That's a sad Deathstroke. Robin #1. I don't know if I own this.
It's a pretty cover.
It is. Probably hang on to that. Yeah, I don't actively collect that series, but I like to hang on to that. And I don't know. Maybe I will now. I always go back and forth on that one. Nightwing 101. We haven't seen any of the regular Nightwing series in here, and all of a sudden we've got one this late. That's really weird. Robin from War Games. Checkmate. Why not? More Demon. Wonder Woman 71. Yeah, Wonder Woman, don't squeeze her head. That doesn't work on anybody. Green Lantern Emerald Dawn. #1. Oh, no, it's Emerald Dawn 2. That's Emerald Dawn. Emerald Dawn. Bunch of Green Lantern all of a sudden. Bunch of earlier Green Lantern all of a sudden.
Interesting.
Yeah, Jason's going to be excited about some of this. That's great. Green Lantern. DC Superstars, Flash. Once again, that's a little earlier, too. That's going to be late 60s, early 70s, Brandon.
All right.
I haven't been able to definitively pinpoint what the earliest year is yet.
Maybe one will just like jump out at the very end here.
Maybe so. Dude, this is bittersweet. I'm getting sad. We're almost done.
We've got the long
Got
box
that long
left,
box.
though.
I know. Watch that be nothing but crap.
Well,
Hawkman. Rima the Jungle Girl.
okay. That's a new property we haven't seen yet.
More Spectre. More Green Lantern, Green Arrow. I'm excited to have as much of this as we've got here. I've always wanted to collect this in singles. That makes me very happy. Legends of the Dark Knight 130. I don't think I've got that. Oh, man, a bunch of these. Some of these are a little water damaged, but I'm excited to see them here. Why are there so many Punisher Warzone #1s? Let's see. How long have we been broadcasting, Brandon?
An hour and 15 minutes, I'm guessing.
Hour and 52 minutes.
Oh, almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
I was
It's
45 minutes
here.
off. Off. I cannot.
That's
speak.
how much fun we're having.
Fun, 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 fun.
Okay, just the long box left.
Just the long box. Why the long face? Because the
wanna
long
say
box
I can
sucked.
promise you that this won't go till midnight.
Well, that's
I
fine.
want to say I can promise that.
No, the long box is more like Mary Poppins' carpet bag. So it just keeps going and going.
Exactly.
Or, the Mad-Eye Moody's trunk in Harry Potter. It's bigger on the inside.
Okay. I don't want to waste everybody's time putting all of this back. I'll finish this later. And naturally, hardly any of these are bagged.
Oh boy.
This is going to take a little while. That means that there are a couple hundred books here. I'm thinking about your earlier question, Brandon.
Which was?
When you were asking, was it like what else I'm expecting to
Yeah.
see, or what like big crazy book could be here?
What do you think with the spread that we've had? What could show up, because we're still finding every once in a while a thing we haven't seen anything of yet.
Yeah, that's true. I can't believe how much DC there's been.
Is there anything
There's been maybe more DC than Marvel, which is really unusual, or at least it's been pretty 50-50 still, at least. But I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna ask: is there something you would, at this point, that you would hope to find with a spread like this that you haven't seen anything of yet?
God, my brain is kind of swirling because we've been hitting so many different titles that my brain is kind of turning to mush.
Well, if you find one in there, let me know it fits the qualification.
It'll come to me. I will say I was kind of expecting to see more like Web of Spider-Man or Peter Parker Spider-Man. I thought we might see. I've got one, but it's worth a little bit. I thought we might see that black costume #1 for Spectacular. I think it's Spectacular.
Okay.
And I thought we might see some Todd McFarlane Venom. I don't think we've run into any of that yet. There's not been a lot of amazing in here, especially like early amazing. But if that guy went through this and pulled stuff out, that's one of the most likely things he would pull, not even knowing who he is.
Sure.
Still no Spawn. I know. I'm surprised by that, Tyler. All right. Well, let's keep rolling. Here is Dark Knight #50. I own this and have reviewed this before. This is a retelling of the original Joker story, I believe, if memory serves. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong about that. Legends of the Dark Knight 79. Oh, a bunch of legends. Cool. This will be good to gap fill. This is a series that I own a lot of.
So maybe this is all just together.
Oh, if this whole box was Batman, do you know how happy I would be? Look, we're accidentally getting
it looks like the whole stack you're holding, and that's quite large.
And it's a bunch of legends and a bunch of issues I don't think I have. This is awesome. Look, we're accidentally getting a Batman stream out of this, because there's so much Batman in here. Yeah, there's that Tau arc. It's wild. So, Brandon, this series was initially, anyway, supposed to be like jumping around in time in like the early years of Batman's career, and it was if memory serves, it was like an anthology book with different teams that came on. Denny O'Neil does the first arc of it, if I remember right. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong about that, but I've reviewed that. I'm pretty sure that's right. I'm second guessing everything I'm saying right now because we're jumping around history so hard. But and then like everything, it starts to just tie into the big events at some point, and it quits being that all the time anyway. Because then we get into Nightfall with it. Oh, and there's some going sane. In fact, I don't think I own this issue. So this is one of the first comics I ever bought.
Okay.
And this will put you in the place and time because on the back is advertising Interview with the Vampire. But I bought this at a flea market because it's where I got a lot of my comics when I was a kid, and I read this in a vacuum, and this was the yeah, I thought so. This is the second part of this arc where the Joker thinks he is getting sane again, and because he meets a girl and falls in love. I've reviewed this years ago, and then he goes nuts again by the end of it. But anyway, Austin and I talk all the time about how we want to see this adapted in something. But it's cool to get an issue of that I was missing. Anyway, yeah. So a ton of this book. And this is more of what I was expecting to see with this collection, where you would just get a bunch of one book all concentrated in a row like this. Oh, here's some of the rest of Going Sane. Exciting. And criminals. I mean, that goes without saying. It's Batman. You know, that's what he fights. Criminals. It's like calling a Star Trek episode The Ship.
Didn't they do that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why you're saying... Yes, got it.
It's just like that. That was almost all Legends of the Dark Knight. Hang on, I'm going to peek forward here.
Don't peek forward.
Okay, so... I think there's a good possibility this entire long box is Batman.
It might be.
I think it might all be Batman.
Which is kind of fascinating considering everything else we've just been through.
That's so exciting, because there's a bunch of gap filling I'm going to get to do here. It's like all of Legends of the Dark Knight is in this box.
So you've like had 3 Christmases today.
But yeah, seriously. But just completely out of order. Oh, I say that. No, a lot of this is in order. 88, 89. I wasn't even looking at the numbers. 90, 91,
I was going to
92.
ask.
93, 94, 95. I was just showing covers. 96, 97.
One reply says, new cap lore. Neat.
And I mean, there are some... Yeah, I don't think I've ever told that story. There are some gaps here and there, but it's a lot of it. And the earliest issues we didn't see, which is why I didn't think to look at the numbers, because I figured it was jumping around. But, yeah, crazy. I've never gone through this whole series. Hold on, ready?
Yeah. Can't do it.
Okay, this just keeps going too. 133, 138. So now we're skipping forward a little bit, but I forgot. That
Maybe it's just out of order.
I forgot this went as long as it. No. Well, yes.
Some of them are in order, but the bricks are out of order.
But
there's my name.
You're right. That's entirely possible. Oh, look, it's Grimm, part 4 of 5. See, that's a fine title for a story, not like Criminals.
Hey, now that's somebody
War
else.
games.
It'd be fine for somebody else.
Maybe that's named after somebody's last name too. It's like Max Criminal.
Max Criminal. Yeah, that's good.
Year 1 annual Legends of the Dark Knight 0. Okay, now we're getting out of this series and into the Batman Night Gallery. This thing is really stupid looking. I flipped through this before. You don't get more 90s than this. Okay, and then I say stupid looking. I mean, the child version of me loves that stuff. This looks like the entire miniseries of Batman Gotham Knights, which I own already. But I don't have Gotham Knights 2, and I do now. Here it is. So what we've learned about this guy is that he only cared about Batman because he kept most of it in one box and sort of in order. Batman...
But then let it go when he got rid of his...
Goth. In this issue, Batman Black and White. That's really funny. Okay, so there's some black and white in here with Warren Ellis, and they got to put his name on here because nobody cares about this. All right. And then another Gotham Knight series. I guess they called an... Oh, that's right. There was a... I forgot about that. There was an ongoing later called that. Okay. Okay, Brandon.
Okay, Captain.
So it looks like now we just have most of this series. 4, 8, 9. Yeah, I have this one, but now I'm gap filling
the rest
this.
of it.
Now I've got the rest of it. Yay! This is nuts. There's Oracle. I unlocked an achievement by my friend Brandon going to a yard sale. I don't... 15... So, wow, look at this guy in this crazy tribal tattoos. Atmosphere. Lights 18.
Ambiance.
I don't know if I need to show every cover of this, but some of these are cool. Oh, wow, Brandon. Look at the bugs creating the Joker's face.
Oh, interesting. How would they know to do that?
Like, we gotta make...
Is he controlling them?
We gotta make this comic... Because Ant-Man came in, he helped out. Bruce Wayne Murderer. This stuff sucks.
Tyler says, Legends of the Dark Knight goes until War Games.
Yes.
One reply says, it's so cool to see you guys so energized and excited. Thank you. It's fun to do this kind of thing. I always enjoy seeing Cap's reaction to things, and like when I find a score and I don't know it's a score, or I think it might be, and when it turns out to be, that's always satisfying.
You know what that sounds like, though?
What?
That sounds like one reply saying, usually you come on and you're all jaded and depressed, and it's just really nice to see you excited about something. I'm getting these all out of order, but whatever. So here's...
We'll get them in order later.
Here's Asbat just kicking the crap out of Batman. I have reviewed this stuff, much to my chagrin, because it's boring as sin. It looks really exciting. It's not. So Bruce Wayne Fugitive was better than Bruce Wayne Murderer, but it's not great. That's a good Huntress cover. Okay, we got half of this lawn box left.
This is entirely Batman so far.
Yep. There's that Batgirl costume again. They brought it back for this, which I didn't know about, so that's interesting. This is a riff on that same cover that we saw earlier with that Batgirl one shot. So we now, in the same collection, have seen a famous cover and an homage to that famous cover. There's Huntress again. I love a lot of these covers. A lot of this actual book was not great, but there's some cool covers in here.
That's how they get you. Bring you in with the cover and then hit you with the beds.
Yeah, and I mean, that's false advertising. Like, no. Return of Hush. I didn't know that Hush was in a story in this series. Jeff Loeb is doing Hush 2 right now, and I could not care less. But more power to him. People seem excited about it. Or I say that, I mean, it's probably selling well. Wow, that's weird. Look at that one, Brandon.
Which one?
Blah!
Oh, boy. I feel like that's the closest we've gotten to Spawn.
Yeah. We're not going to see any Spawn at this point.
Watch there be like one comic at the back of this box and it's Spawn.
Yeah, it's Spawn.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. Watch
that
it
would be absolutely amazing.
Watch us get to the end. It's Sam on Twitch, or it's like Violator, or like it's not even an actual Spawn comic.
Overt Kill.
Well, Overkill didn't have his own miniseries or anything.
Oh, well.
But Violator did, and I mean at this point, because McFarlane got spin-off happy after Spawn started selling again decently well at all around 300, I think. He just went nuts, and there's like, so maybe they've done an Overkill mini at this point. I don't think they have, but anyway, but talking about the old stuff from this period, you could have Angela, you could have Violator. You'd have medieval, not medieval Spawn. You could have Spawn of the Dark Ages, Curse of the Spawn, etc., etc. But we're not going to see any of that, I don't think. Okay, so earlier, one of the books, I don't know why I didn't say it, one of the books that did come to mind when you said what else do you think could be in here? I was surprised we hadn't seen any Cassandra Cain Batgirl yet.
Okay.
Let me show you this real quick before we get to that. So here is more Batman's Judge Dredd crossover. I didn't know there was more than one, but here they are. Judgment of Gotham and The Ultimate Riddle and Vendetta in Gotham. So I've got these now. I didn't even know there were this many of those.
There might be more.
So I've always wanted a full collection of Cassandra Cain Batgirl,
okay.
and that is Jason's favorite series.
Okay.
Here's number one. This is worth a bit now, I think. I could be wrong about that. And it just keeps going.
Okay.
This is one of my favorite covers of all time. Jason's also a huge fan of this cover. And I just want to see where we first get a break. Because I own a lot of the back half of this, but not a lot of the early issues. And here's one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't have a gap yet, Brandon.
Okay.
9, 10, 11. This is going to be Christmas for Jason. I mean, he's going to be really excited about this.
Well, great. Speaking of, I actually have something for a couple things for Jason. I left them at home. I didn't think about bringing them over, but...
In fact, I'm going to have to see... Sorry, I'm not talking on the microphone right now. I'm going to have to see how much of this series I own already. Because I might have to start Jason on his own collection on this series. He's such a big fan of this. Because I'm going to have the majority of it here, it looks like. So I might give him what I've got already and let him start collecting a full set of these himself.
Sure.
Third, it keeps going. I haven't found a gap yet. 35. Sorry, I'm not showing covers with this right now. I just want to look at the rest of this to see how much of it we've got. $37, $38, $39, $40, $42, $44, $45. Okay, first gap. We're missing 46 here, which
Maybe it's just out of order.
Which I probably have already. It could be, but so far they haven't been.
Okay.
52, 53, and we didn't find it in another box either.
Nope.
55 is missing here. 57, 59. Okay, and then so he's missing a few back here. And then I think the series kept going, and I think I have most of the rest of it past that. But I can't remember how long it went. Anyway, that's friggin' awesome. How much of that is here?
Cool.
I'm going to spring this on Jason, or he's just going to lose his mind. He's going to be so excited about that. Anyway, I didn't show a lot of the covers here, but yes, that's Cassandra Cain. Batgirl, Tyler says she has a new ongoing right now. I've heard about that. I wonder if that's any good. That's so cool. $60. Batman 1,000,000. These were weird. Oh, Doug Minch was on that. I didn't realize that. And now we get to gap fill some Mensch Batman. This is right around Nightfall. 518, 519. Not as much of this series earlier as I would have liked. Although we found a few in the other boxes, certainly. Batgirl has 74 issues. Okay, thanks, Tyler. I thought it was a little bit more than that. Which means I probably have all of it now. 524. And if not, I'm missing like an issue or two, and that would be really easy to just order and finish. 525. Oh, look, Brandon, it's the Batman Forever Tiger handheld game.
Nice. Does Jason have that?
He doesn't have that one, no.
He should get that. I should look for that for him.
7. I don't know how many of these covers I need to show, really. 531.
You could just fan him out again. Penguin.
We found that earlier. There was another one of those already. Yeah. The heck is this? Why is it... Okay. Anyway, sorry. I thought this was in like a sealed bag for a second. It is just in a regular bag, but that confused me for a moment. Anyway, because none of this was bagged. Okay, so now we're into No Man's Land era, and I have most of that, but I know I'm missing a few here and there, so we'll gap fill some there if we need to. And then this era, the Larry Hama stuff, I don't have any of this, I don't think. These covers are friggin' weird. They're weird, Brandon.
I understand.
I don't like them.
Why don't you like them? Because they're weird?
It's just the wrong kind of weird. Like I gotta see if the interiors look like this, but it's just the wrong kind of cartoony for me. Like,
it is.
I just don't dig on that.
Yeah.
Why do I have to explain?
Angular.
Why do I have to explain that to you? But yeah, and sometimes angular's okay. It just depends on the brand of it, right? Like,
sure.
And okay, and then we get into Brubaker. So I have this issue. So I've got a couple of things around this period, but not much. Until now. 588. So now we're into 2001 era. Vaughn, Brubaker. Yeah, Brandon, I'm pretty sure you guys were lying and you didn't get the stuff for $60. You just like punched that guy in the face and stole it.
No,
and then you charged me only $60, which is weird. I don't know why you did that.
Well, so one reply said Brandon and Nikki are pretty much Bonnie and Clyde now. The find was basically a steal at this point.
I own this one for some reason. I do remember that cover.
And like I said earlier, all I did was kind of very glanced at this, took a couple of pictures, snapped it to you. We didn't even look through it, which, you know, the next time we probably will, just to let you know what we find and whatnot. But
okay, so spoilers, it is in fact not all Batman.
We did find more.
Right at the back of the box, I noticed something else, and it's probably just a couple miniseries. But there's every possibility the last issue is still a Spawn thing. Okay. It probably won't be, but I mean, you know, it could be. But anyway, we're still in this era of the regular Batman book. A couple of these I have already. Like this issue I've got. We're into War Games again.
You know, this guy. So you say?
Hold on. I'm sorry, Brandon.
Huh?
I'm sorry, Brandon. Can I explain something real quick?
Yeah.
So we also, I own this one. I own this one too. We also just last Friday on the Superhero Rewind Commentary Project did a commentary on Batman Under the Red Hood, which is adapting this stuff. That is Judd Winnick improving on his own material in an animated movie. That's one of the best Batman animated movies.
Right.
And I finally read this stuff in preparation for that review. I'd never done that before.
Yeah.
And now I've got most of it, if not all of it, in singles. And I had a couple of these in singles, but I didn't. Not you, it can't be. Gee, I wonder who it's going to be. Oh, I wonder. Oh, we're all going to be so shocked when it turns out to be Jason Todd. There he is. Anyway, spoilers. But yeah, a few of these I had, like this one, but most of this I was missing.
Tyler says that guy had no clue what he had. Just he kept what he wanted.
I think he did.
He just didn't care. He was making deals left and right. He told me that, he was in this house. He's been in this house for 5 years and his kids were just under 5. And he's like, we realized we never had a garage sale, so we just wanted to get rid of stuff. So he was making deals. Yeah.
Okay, so this stack is all that's left.
Okay.
And we will find out what the very last book is. This was mostly a Batman box. That was the lottery for me.
Cool.
Because that's exactly the kind of stuff that I always hope to gap fill when I get into a collection like this. And
now you don't have to hope anymore.
It's very exciting. There are at least a couple hundred
Dreams
issues.
Dreams do come true, folks.
Or more than there's at least like 300 issues to gap fill here with stuff that I actively collect. And then other things that are just cool to have that I'll definitely hang on to. It's also nice that I didn't spend a lot of money on this collection, so I don't have to worry about trying to break even.
Yeah.
Because usually I would make concessions. Like there would be things that I would sell that I might like to keep, but I got to try to break even. So I go and say, I don't have to do that.
Right, yeah. Not with this.
Terminator Endgame. Okay. There's Supreme Power. I've reviewed that before. We're back to Death's Head. More stuff that nobody cares about.
You've now ran out of room on your table here. Move the long box. You'll have room.
No, I'm good. Turok. Turok number 1. Jason might be excited about that. Jason is a Turok guy. Aliens Berserker. I didn't think we were going to get back to random indie crap no one cares about. Alien Legion. Oh my god. Oh my god. Can I cheat? Can I hold on. Can I cheat? Can I cheat? Can I cheat? Can I cheat? Can I cheat?
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna put something at the end. We got to look at it last, okay?
Okay.
And we're just gonna pretend like I didn't do, but I can't believe how close to the end it was. That's amazing.
I mean,
okay. Did you see it?
I'm all for order. No, I'm all for the order it came in, but
did you see? Yeah, there's a reason though.
Okay, no, I did not see it. No.
Wait, you didn't see it?
Nope.
Okay, I want us to all just humor me, okay?
I'm humoring you. I'm humoring you. We've made it all the way through this. I'm humoring you.
The book I just put at the end was always at the back, okay? Unicorn. I can't believe it! Moth, whatever the hell that is. Exo Manowar. Ooh, that's cool, though. That's Battle Angel Alita. Neat. I didn't know that ever came out in singles, because I thought that was just a manga. Tyler Zayas, did Spawn finally show up? You'll just have to wait. You'll just have to wait to find out. After the Fall, that's Spike. I can't believe that suddenly showed up. That's pretty crazy. I have some Buffy Angel stuff. Anyway. Okay, I don't know what that is. Thunderbolts. You should see Thunderbolts, Brandon. It was actually really good.
All right.
Girls, and are you ready? Are you ready?
Ready.
Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Yeah. Wait.
What? Violator. How close we were to the end on that, and it did show up.
And I said that. I was like, it's not going to be
did.
Spawn. It's just, we're not going to have any Spawn issues.
It's going to be one of the offshoots.
It's going to be a spinoff. And Violator was the first one I said it. There it is.
You're god tier level at this, you know.
It's so good.
You've been doing it for so long. You've been in the biz for so long.
It's not even number one. There's not any Spawn in this entire thing. Violator number 2. That's all you get. That's all you get. Read a book. Oh my god.
That's amazing. We were only like 10 books from the end.
Okay. So that was all of it, right?
That's everything.
There's not a stray box? No, we got everything. Okay.
5 boxes and a long box, right?
Well, we did it. It took, what?
2.5 hours?
2.5 hours? Yeah, pretty close. But we managed it. Wow, that was weird. Everything about that was weird.
Everything about that was wonderful. What are you talking about?
Just how good some of that stuff was. I'm shocked. Anyway, thanks again a ton for that. I hope that wasn't boring, Brandon. I know you don't.
It was not boring. No, and it
was fun.
I got a lesson in multiple areas. That's very fascinating. I'm a little jealous of those records. If you find that you have them, Nick, you'd probably be interested in those. That's a cool find. Like, I'm kind of surprised I did. Like, I'm always
it's really weird those were in there.
Just weirdly looking through, because I don't know anything about comics, but I always thumb through the boxes. I'm actually weirdly surprised I didn't thumb through these more. But picking them up sight unseen was really, the amount of comics. It was always going to be like, that's way less than $1 per comic, period.
Oh yeah, no, by a lot. And when I was reselling, I always tried to keep it under my sweet spot was like 35 cents.
Mm-hmm.
I never spent more than 50 cents.
When
you're buying a big collection, if you're buying for resale. And that's maybe harder to do these days. I don't know what it's like trying to buy collections now. Mm-hmm. Just as expensive as things have gotten. But sometimes that helps you and sometimes it hurts you, right? Where like when people are, this is gonna sound awful, but like when people are desperate for cash, they'll sometimes sell for cheaper than they would otherwise. But then also when things are getting massively inflated, everybody thinks their stuff is worth more.
Sure.
And so you get hit on both ends like that.
And then there's the gems like this guy who's just not really in the caring mode, just like willing to make a deal and get rid of some clutter. Not junk, but clutter.
I mean, that's a ridiculous find at 3 times what he asked for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he just gave us that. Tyler, I think the range was late 60s to 2018. Yep, it was. Thomas Lowe, Brandon is MVP. Good job, Brandon.
Thank you, Thomas Lowe.
All right, we're gonna go and get going, but I've got a little bit of work to do with this now because I've got to go through and actively gap fill.
Boy, you had no idea. I had no idea. This was a fascinating dive. It really was.
This is really fun. I'm glad we went ahead and broadcasted it.
I mean, that's a whole comic collection. Just like, it's nice.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, I bought these before, but
yeah, but that's just fun.
That's definitely the record now for cheapest. Like, you're never gonna beat that. Anyway, thanks a lot, everybody. We'll see you again real soon. I was Captain Logan. This was Brandon Grimm.
MVP.
Bye, everybody. Is that what the M stands for?
Yeah.
Bye, folks.